Okay, so I'm gonna record this. So that way I can be able to send it to you so you can watch the video, okay?
Uh,
So now what we talking about market, I'm gonna start again, okay? Once you want to know about the stock market, the way how the stock market move, right? It's three ways it moves. It moves high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? So that's how the market move. One way of the market move. So that's move number one right there. So that's move number one. Let me clone that. And we have also movement number two, which is going to be the range. All right. So movement number two is going to be the range. Okay. So ranging is no trade zone. It's dangerous. Okay. When you don't know, except you have experience before you can trade on range. Okay. So now, and the other way the market move is the third way is going to be you have low, lower high, lower low, lower high. So I'm gonna write it down, okay? So
mm,
we have, so we're gonna go low or W. We have low and we have lower high, which is LH, right?
mm,
And we have lower low, LL, lower low, and we have lower high, we have lower low, we have lower high, right? And we have lower low. Okay. So those are and the best time for you to trade is when the market is trending because you can trade with the trend. The trend is your best friend. So for example, you see this chart right now, the market is forming a high, right? If you look
mm,
in a 1 month, right?
yeah.
We have low, we have higher high, we have higher 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 low. So let me go ahead and hide all the drawings real quick, right? So if I go to hiding all the drawings, hide drawings. So you see what I was talking about, right?
Mm,
Have low down here, we have high, low, lower high, higher high, lower high, high high, lower high, high high, lower high, high high, lower high, high high. So the market pretty much in a 1 month is trending up, right?
mm,
It's trending up. So you want to, that's why it's good to do top-down analysis. So the 1 month shows that the market is trending up. And if you look at the 1 month, we still have rising volume, but we also have this candle, which is almost like a hammer candle with a tail. What that means is buyer come in and push the price high, okay? But we're gonna focus more on supply and demand. So we go now into the weekly, right? What the weekly telling you? The weekly still telling you the market is trending, right? Will form a low, higher high, higher low, high high, higher low, higher high, higher low, high high, higher low, high high, higher low. So the market overall is trending, right? We'll go back to the daily. The daily still give you the same results, right? The market is still trending up, you see? The market is just trending up, right? So if we go back to it, let me still hide the drawing. So you see that drawing right there. The market is still trending up, will form a low, lower high, and still the market is trending up, right? But now, if you look back again, still the market is trending up. But if you look on the daily, it looks like we form a high, low, high, lower low. But then we came back and crushed this area right here, this left shoulders. This look like a head and shoulders. So it's still kind of complicated on the daily. That's why you want to do top-down analysis to know the market direction, okay? So going back again into the 4 hour, but the 4 hour telling us the market being trending down, right? We have high, higher low, higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, right? But
mm,
then you see here the market changes on the 4 hour, right? When the
mm,
market came down on the 4 hour, we have a trend change. Then the market start going uptrend again. We have low, we have high, higher low, high, right? You see what I was drawing? We have this, pump, 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 pump. So for what you're looking for a buy signal for market open on Monday, right?
Mhm.
Because the market is trending up on the 4 hours, right? But overall, the market been telling us that the market is trending up anyway, right? Remember, from since the 1 month. 1 month, if we go back to the monthly, what the market was telling us is trending up. We go back to the weekly, the market is telling us that it's trending up, right? And we go back into the daily, the market is telling us that it's trending up. So when you understand market trend, that you know you're on the right trend, right? So we go back into the 1 month, I mean 1 hour, what the 1 hour tells you. So that's how you stop your top-down analysis. That's what we're doing. So we start with the monthly, walk our way down onto the 1 hour. The 1 hour is telling you that, right? Let me remove this. We'll form a high, lower high, 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 lower high. Price came, we test that high, right? And people buy, push up. Price came will break, people buy, push up. Price came will break, people buy, push up. So the market is trending up basically pretty much in 1 hour, right?
Mhm.
So now understanding supply and demand, let's go with the daily, first of all, on a bigger time frame. Or I can say the 4 hours because 4 hours in 1 hour, I can explain to you more better supply and demand, okay?
Mhm.
So if you look in this area, we're gonna draw a level right there. This whole area right here, for example, has been a demand area, right? You want to take it as an area because I'm taking it as an area, not just a level. If you look back all the way back in what was that? If you look all the way back in October 12th, 2025, right? You can tell that people buy right here. Price can retest. People buy, right? Price can retest and price continue going up and price came back into that same level. You see from that demand back all the way back, right? From October, people came, you see how people test that demand, people buy this demand. Price came around this demand area. We kind of failed the demand, but we held it if the trend change, right? People keep buying, right? So that's how you identify supply and demand. So this whole area right here, if you look, been tested 1 time, 2 time, 3 times, 4 times. So that's telling you the area, the demand area is really strong, right? So it's
Mhm.
been tested 4 times and price came into that demand again. You see how we price came, we retest that demand, that same demand. People buy with a strong green candle. People go and buy, right? So that's one way you look for supply and demand. You look at the area, right? Now you can look also single, but it's best for you to look in the area that you want to take them in the area, okay? I said area of demand and supply. So if I draw my level, demand, demand, right? Demand, demand on that area, right? And if you go back again, demand, right? This area is demand, right? If you look back all the way back again, you see a little bit of demand right there on this area, right? And if you look back again, demand on that area. So you see this area is a very strong area. So anytime price came in that level, this was that 24,400 and something level, right? You will see price bounce, bounce. The last time we failed, but people buy again. We fail it. We came with break and fail that area. People retest and buy into that demand, okay? Now, if you go back again, so let me draw it so you can see the demonstration. So we have support, all right?
Mhm.
We have um go, okay. So if you look now, because a lot of times with supply and demand, it can be it can be funny. What I mean is, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me draw it again. So if you go, let's say we do that, that, we'll do that, we'll do something like this, we'll do something like that, we'll do something like this, right? And we do something like this. We do something like that. Okay. So supply and demand not gonna look perfect on the chart. Okay. But
Mhm.
once you know it, right? When price come into these areas, this could be all supply right here. You see? People come, price came, people sell, price came, people sell, price came, people sell, price came, people sell. So all that area could be area of supply, right? And if you go back again, all this area right here could be area of demand, right? People price came, people buy, price came, people buy, price came, people buy, price came, people buy up, right? And when price came into supply, people buy up. So the example I'm talking about, you see, these are all supply and demand. You don't see they don't look equal, no, so right? This is
Mhm.
demand. It's not, it doesn't look equal with this, right? This is demand, right? It doesn't look equal with this. This is demand, it doesn't look equal. This is demand. This is demand, it doesn't look equal. It's peel off a little bit, right? So if you look at this perfect example right here, or this example on the sheet, you see? So price and it's an equilibrium, whatever they call it, balance. It's not never gonna be the same. Okay? So that's
Yes.
why it's not going to take you one day to understand supply and demand. You have to go practice and learn how to find them. Okay.
Mhm.
So if you look into those areas, but the way I find supply and demand, I will come down and hold my chart. And this is a demand area right here because you see that people buy, right?
Mhm.
Demand, people buy. I will tackle this is another demand again. Demand, people buy right there. And you have also another demand, people buy in those demand areas. So I'll mark out my demand area, right? Where people buy, just in case, right? Price came into those areas, then you know those areas are pretty strong, right? So you see I'm
Mhm.
marking all my demands, right? So demand, demand, demand. So now you understand a little bit of demand, right? People come anytime price came into that area. For example, again, let's go back again. This area right here, October 1st, right, 2025, or October or September, right? September 25, 2025. It was once a nice, beautiful demand. People buy and push the price all the way up. Coming to supply, people price came back again. It failed, but it reclaimed. People buy, price claim back again, right? From that demand, you see that demand right there. When price came back again into that demand, you see how people let me go to lock my drawing. You saw people buy again, right? Price came, people buy again, price came, people buy up, right? People buy up, people buy up. From since then, that demand been tested, right? All the way to this demand right here. Price, you see it's tested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Price came, price failed that demand. Then people buy back on that demand area, right? So now let's go into supply. So we go to supply, the supply zone. You see, when price came into this major supply area, people sell. You see that thick red candle sell, right? That's on the 4 hours. People sell. And these are all supply zone, right? Price came into the supply zone. People sell. People sell, sell. This was a supply right here. Supply, people sell. People sell anytime price came to that supply. You see how it doesn't, none of them look equal, right? But you have to learn how to draw them. Price came into that supply, people sell, right? And the last time price came back into that supply, this was way back 1, 2 months ago, right?
Mhm.
1, 2 months ago. Price came into that supply. What people do? This
The
is
same.
November. People sell, right?
Mhm.
Price came back into that supply area. What people do?
The same.
They sell, right? Okay. So now, even though price came into that supply area, but now this time you see how people, you see when the market is trending up, that means the market is going up, right?
Mhm.
So you see how people force to break that supply. Now we're trading on top of that supply, right? So now a supply now has become a support. Okay. So supply, vice versa. Supply, uh, supply becomes support. Okay. Support or demand. It's, okay. So supply becomes support, right?
Mm-hmm.
And vice versa. So or demand, okay? Or demand, okay? Or demand. So anytime you see this supply right up here, right? When we break it, you see how people we see when they break the supply. For example, you see how when we break the supply, you see how people buy, VUP. Last time price came, it said I respect that supply. That supply now becomes support. So this is a support people buy always. So those are the area people buy. See how when price came, it failed, but people buy, right? It break back again, people buy. Now we break that supply, right? People sell, people sell, people sell. Now people break that supply now. You see, people are going to buy. So people are planning to buy. So if you look right here in the 5 minutes, you see how price came into the 5 minute now. So price is coming back into that supply. So likely I'm looking for a buy signal for price to push up because we're trending, right? That's what you want to do. But let's go back into the 4 hours. Okay. So we understand the supply and demand. We can get into that later. But now, and if we come back again, so now we're looking for price to buy, right? So if we come back again on this supply area, you see I'm drawing my supplies, right? These are all supplies. You see how people sell? If a price come back again, I'm looking for people to sell in this area, or I'm gonna wait for price to break that supply area, right? You see, I'm gonna wait for price to break that supply area right there, come back, retest, make that move up, and train and I enter to buy. Okay, so that's what you want to look for. So those are the things that I'm gonna be looking for when price come into those area, right? So I
Yeah.
want price to come retest, then form a trend, form a high, lower high, 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 lower high. Then I enter right here for push back up, right? Then so now your target is going to target this other major supply area, right? Because likely when price come into that supply area, price could likely flush back down. No, so
Mm-hmm.
price could likely flush back down. No, so that's what you're looking for. So you don't want, that's why I say it's always good to take the trade. When people be like, why you don't stay in the trade? You see the reason why? Because if you don't buy right here, you don't make a little bit of profit. This is a huge, huge, huge supply area. You see how people sell from October 29? The market just keep coming down, right? All the way to November, right? So that's a huge supply. So if the price come down here, likely what price gonna do? Price gonna form a head and shoulders and flush back down. So if you're holding on to the trade, you're thinking it's gonna go on forever, then all that money you make is you're gonna lose it all in one day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're gonna lose all that money same day, and you're gonna lose some more back again. You're gonna keep flushing all the way down. Who knows? If it come back into the supply, it could just continue retesting, continue flushing back down. So that's why it's best for you to understand supply and demand. Okay? So
Yeah.
basically, that's all it is about supply and demand. You first with the things that we learn market trend, right? We talk about market trend. Um, we talk about range, right? And we talk about downtrend. So we talk about uptrend. So this is uptrend right here. You see uptrend, right? Where the
Mm-hmm.
market is going up, and this is downtrend where the market is trending down. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
now this is range. You see this area right here? This is a range. You see where the market ranging? See? Very dangerous, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because then the market is not moving nowhere. It comes up, down, up, down, up, down. Now you see when the market when price break that range, you see how people buy good, people enter and buy nicely and push the price for a couple of days, right? Almost
Mm-hmm.
from October from the 24th and push it all the way to the 29th. So for 4 days or 5 days straight, people was buying up, right?
Yeah.
So and now you see how the market trending, people start buying, right? From that trend and price just keep going up, right? So for example, if we go to the 5 minute, let me show you what I'm talking about in the 5 minute. So now we're going to the 5 minutes. You want to look for your entry points in the 5 minute, right? So say for example, market, right? Been trending up, right? Will form
Mm-hmm.
a low, higher low, high, high, right? So let me clean up all those drawings. We don't need all those. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean that up, right?
Mhm.
And we'll form a low, we'll form a high, higher low. So what I'm waiting for right now, I'm waiting for price to break that trend area so I could buy, right? So if you look into
Mhm.
the 5 minute, let me go to my replay. This is why I was talking about replay. So start a new replay. So you see on the 5 minutes, because I already established that the market is trending up, right? So what I'm looking for, I'm looking to buy up. No, so
Mhm.
that's what I'm looking for to buy up. All right. So for me, once price open in the morning, 9 o'clock, right? Or 9:30 will force from that HOD because this in my setup I call it HOD. Once price came, right, will form those structure right there. Yes, baby. Oh, I'm coming. Just I'm gonna join you soon. So you see, we get this, right? So for
Mhm.
me, I want to see a VWAP crossover. This is one of my secret, but don't even worry about it. This is something that you're gonna learn later. So if you know me, I just understand supply and demand, what I just show you. Just go over it, learn it for about a week, 2 to a month, so you understand how to draw those levels. Then you worry about entry levels now, okay? That's the last thing you want to worry about for now. But you've got to understand supply and demand. So now, since I already understand that the market is trending up, right? The 1 hour, this 4 hours tell me that, right? I'm gonna look inside the 5 minutes. So this is one of my setup in my playbook. Once you break, volume die. You see how volume die? That means people, the strength for the price to come down. The red area, people not interested in pushing the price down because you see how the volume dies. So the supply area volume is dying. So buyers is going to step up. You see how buyers step up? Either you can enter right there when volume died onto that area, that supply area, right? For the market to trend. You see how many hours this took? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, almost 2, 3 hours for the price to go. So this is an all day trade, right? Or what I can do until my HOD pattern, right? Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna wait when he break that structure right there, then I enter right here, then my stop loss probably somewhere around right there. Okay? You see, but you see our price take 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 minutes for it to even start pushing. So those are things that you want to wait for and patience when it comes into trading. So that's one setup right there I got in my playbook, right?
Mhm.
Okay. But don't even worry about the setup. I want you to focus on supply and demand. So if we go into my playbook where I say HOD, let me go to HOD real quick. Um, 1 second. HOD, that's high of the day. So, but this they will come because if you when you understand supply and demand, you will start seeing what I'm talking about. And the only way you can learn it, you have to go practice yourself to be able to see it. I can explain to you all day, all night, but whatever I just show you, you have to take it. Okay? Can you see my screen now, the whites, my setups? Can you see my screen?
I see.
Okay. So you see what I'm talking about, HOD, right?
Mhm.
So for example, what the market was doing right here on the 1 hour. You see, these are screenshots, right? The market was
Mhm.
trending high, 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 low, high, high. Will break that high, high, that yellow line, right? You see in the 5 minutes on the other side on the 5 minutes. Once we break it, HOD will break, pump, adios, right? And I just show you the same scenario, right?